For the last 5 years, I have led the Urban School Performances Project and observed the lives of youth and teachers involved in drama, alongside a team of research assistants from the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education. We've found ourselves in cities around the world, including Lucknow, India, where we spent time at Prerna School. Prerna is unlike any other school. It was founded in 2003 by Dr. Urvashi Sani to support disadvantaged girls from urban slums in Lucknow. It serves girls from preschool to grade 12 in the afternoon and evenings, girls who would otherwise not attend school, most working as domestic servants at multiple houses each day prior to coming to school. Dr. Sani explained to us why she created Prerna.
Now, you know what the situation of women worldwide, and the reason for starting Prerna was because the situation worldwide and the situation of women in India is as bad as it is. UNICEF figures were frightening, and they said that out of every 100 girls that got admitted in class 1, by the time you reached high school there were 3 left. Okay, and I don't think they are very far out. It's not a lie. It has changed, but very marginally. Government figures tell us that our literacy rates in India are now about 74% for men and 53% for women.
When Ms. Kay, a teacher at Prerna, explained to us what a typical day is like for Prerna students, it became much clearer why young people find it so hard to stay in school and why literacy skills are lower for girls.
Because most of them are working as domestic workers, and it's all physical labor. So they get physically tired. So we can't expect them to, read a lot and do a lot of homework. If you'll come across children who are literally working from 6 o'clock in the morning to almost 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock they go back to their homes, finish off their own household chores. Then they come to school. From school, at 6 o'clock, they are going back to their workplaces. And at 9 o'clock, reaching back home in the night. Academically, I would say, they do not find a lot of time to invest on their studies.
Right.
That is one of the biggest problems.
Right.
At times, their parents do not allow them to study. That why are you studying? Mm-hmm. Why don't you do the household work? Mm-hmm. So these type of problems they are facing at home also.
All the time.
Soon into our time at Prerna, it became apparent that the support the students receive at school goes well beyond their studies. Prerna is invested in creating better lives for girls. The students are taught academic subjects and take classes on empowerment and gender studies to critique and combat the wide-ranging forms of oppression they face every day.
So school here is not school. School is home, school.
Yeah, it's more than a home even. Because at times these girls have found their homes to be most insecure places.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because there are children who have faced incest problem, who have been facing, like Lakshmi, she has been facing a very violent, aggressive father.
Yeah.
Khushbu also has the same problem. Preeti Rawat, she has the same problem.
Yeah.
Monetary problem is there. So, though we may not be at individual level, we are not able to support them with money and all. But the very support that, okay, if you require protection, we are there. If you require food, we are there. You require books, we are there. You require clothes, we are there. So I think that is itself a very good, big support that Prerna has given them.
Everything. So it's social service of all kinds.
And also, along with that, we are trying to give them a career so that they become independent, economically independent.
Yes.
So in India, for females to be economically independent is the need of the hour. And the day every female realizes this, I think the problem of violence at home probably might finish.
Right.
The Prerna philosophy is a clear reflection of the choices Prerna's founder, Dr. Sani, has made.
We very deliberately have focused on making the school a universe of care, right? In fact, when we orient the teachers are told to know about their children's lives, to do a mothers meeting every month so that they can talk to the mothers about their children's lives, to conduct gender conversations regularly with their students.
This approach to teaching is not common in Lucknow, and the students and Dr. Sani were instrumental in helping us understand the differences between Prerna and other public or government schools in the education system in India.
जैसे कि मैं पहले स्कूल में पढ़ती थी वहाँ पे.
So she says, I was in a school before this where all we did was study. And there was no question of getting us to participate in other things. But since I've come here, I really participate in many, even if it was a small role in a play or speaking on stage. And so slowly I stopped being afraid. And now I begin to feel, hey, I can do a lot too. So she gained a sense of self.
In the larger educational and political arena, there are many challenges that teachers face and politics within the system that affect the quality of education that students have access to.
Often the teacher-student ratio is as frightening as 1:60. There will be schools with just 2 teachers and 400 children. And that the distribution of teachers, there's a shortage of teachers and they're very unevenly distributed. Because many of our schools are in very remote areas, very difficult to reach, right? And they don't take them locally because the literacy rate in the local population is very low. So they have to get them from the cities. Because you will not find many people in that city that meet the eligibility criteria. So you get them from the city, sending them there is hard. That's one. Secondly, the government has only these literate people. India is a poor country. And so they will use them for everything, for census collecting, for animal census collecting, for vaccination, for any election duty. So they're most often sent off for non-teaching duty. And then, of course, they use that as an excuse to stay out longer. Then the monitoring machinery is very, again, inadequate and poorly organized, very corrupt. Right. So you will have one monitor to 100 schools. He's not going to 100 schools. He just writes up the report. Creative writing happens. Right. So the teachers know that. And so they do creative things too, not to be school. Then the other thing is that there is a caste hiatus and a class hiatus. Most of the teachers tend to be from upper castes and middle class, lower middle class. And most of the students that go to government schools tend to be from lower caste and lower class. And so there is a sense of, well, the poor unwashed, what do they need and why do they need it and why do I care?
Given these challenges, I have admired the work of the teachers at Prerna and the relationships that teachers like Miss K have developed with the girls. I've come to understand that this universe of care is the guiding force at the school and behind all decisions made with and on behalf of the students.
And we are like very close friends. We are not teacher and students. Like they come with their problems. I also discuss that today I have this problem. Oh, okay, auntie, you can do this today. So they are very compatible with me. We get along very well. And that is why I think that is one thing, because we have such a strong rapport. We can discuss such serious issues in a very, easy way.
We've witnessed that.
Yeah. And they are able to share almost everything. Even if they feel guilty about anything, they SMS me. Auntie, I have done this. How to go about? And so they feel very closely communicative with me.
In our interview, Ms. K brought up very interesting ideas about women's freedom from oppression.
That very feeling that women in the society, they do not have that liberty to move out to another city and go and do my job and be economically independent. So I wanted them to be really well trained. And I don't know, since my childhood I always believed that if I want to improve my quality of life, the people surrounding me, everybody should be having a very good quality of life. Otherwise, they will be a danger to me.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So that is one thing.
Survival.
Yeah. For my own survival, I should help them to reach a platform from where they feel satisfied in their life.
Not only did Miss K help us understand the issues of class and caste in India that play out in the lives of her students, she also shared her dream of the future for them.
I think I said it in the beginning that I wanted a very, my dream that everybody should be alike. Why have classes? So if we want to avoid those classism in the society, then we have to bring these children also to a level where my daughter and these daughters are sitting together. And they feel that we are at the same platform. And if we can do that, that's something they will feel that they are elevated and they'll feel happy.
Dr. Sani translated many of our conversations with the girls while we visited Prerna. We had the opportunity to get to know one student, Lakshmi, quite well.
So she's saying that my life has completely changed. And so she was saying, I don't know how to say it, but in the beginning I would never speak. And then I told my problem to Rakhi auntie, that's the principal, and then she told me. And then you took a lot of interest in my life. And then I felt that if I keep talking about my issues, they do get solved, you know. So she kept talking about them and she kept having them resolved and so on and so forth. And now she says, I feel very strong and I feel
I was stopped to see the dreams become so anything.
She says, now I'm able to look, to have dreams and know that I will become
what I have.
Dr. Sani explained that many of these serious issues that Lakshmi and Miss K point to involve various forms of oppression. For Lakshmi, it was the potential of being forced into a child marriage and dealing with a violent alcoholic father. For other students, it involves sexual abuse.
Then what I was saying earlier, that there's a lot of child sexual abuse. And what I meant by saying that because it's such a repressive society, and because sex is never talked about, because it's such a no-no, and because women are so powerless, many girls, and many of our own school girls are abused. And in fact, the teacher reported that this child was just blank, like she was in second grade, 6-year-old, and just blank in class and wouldn't pay attention, wouldn't do anything. And she said, so the principal said, you need to find out something is up with this child. And she found out she was being abused at home. All of this happens in the context of the work of our students' lives.
In addition to having teachers or peers to rely on when the girls face serious issues, they also have many opportunities to engage in meaningful and empowering classroom conversations about their lives and the issues they face, including child marriage and domestic violence. These conversations are called critical dialogues at the school. This idea of an empowering curriculum, explored through critical dialogues, is understood at Prerna as a process through which the girls gain increased control over the conditions and resources that affect their lives. Here's an example of one we had the chance to observe.
हम लोग बेटे ऐसे नहीं मानते थे.
Auntie, they don't know their rights. Auntie, women.
They don't know their rights and they don't know their responsibilities. They don't know that they have social responsibilities.
बस आंटी को एक ही रिस्पांसिबिलिटी आती है घर को चलाना.
One responsibility, my kitchen. Which is important. But that's the only responsibility they know.
These critical dialogues are not only important opportunities for the girls to debrief and reflect on their experiences, but they are also often translated into some form of drama or role-playing scenario, which helps the girls express themselves in new ways and prepare for and practice dealing with future conflicts. In many ways, the critical dialogues, it was felt, help the girls imagine and work towards different futures.
See, that gives them then an identity. They can speak what they feel. And once when they are able to speak what they feel, they can tell others that this is what I want. Otherwise, they are doing what others want. They have no place for their own needs, for their own desires. So when we discuss, when we have these type of dialogues, it really helps them to understand, oh, this is my need. This is what I like, this is what I do not like. And I think it took some time for them also to let their parents know, hey, I do not like this. Or I like this, I will do this.
Dr. Sani explained to us how a critical feminist focus in the school is necessary.
So we focus very deliberately on helping our girls resist a system that is very, very violent. And how we do that is, that's where drama plays a very strong role, and the critical dialogues that surround the drama play an even greater role in helping these girls develop a sense of themselves, develop aspirations and dreams, and develop friendships, and develop a sense of self-value, so that they begin to value themselves and they start behaving differently at home. When it gets violent at home, Khushbu, for example, is having trouble at home. What is happening is that because of the critical dialogues, we're finding ways of resisting and, first of all, tolerating it in terms of just going through it. And now this girl has learned to be with her grandmother. She's found a haven with her grandmother. and she tries to stay with her more than with him. And she's learned to resist. So he came and complained. He says, you fill all these, so they look at the way she talks to me and look at what she does, and he complained to me. So I tried to talk him out of it. So which is why we have community meetings with the mothers as well, to talk about it. So it increases the scope of our work, right? But we see that as being the real education that these children should have.
Dr. Sani and the teachers at Prerna have also intervened when the students find themselves in situations where they cannot resist oppressive forces on their own.
I told you we sometimes try to intervene physically, like when I thought that Lakshmi was going to be sold off because she was looking really upset, and she came and she told her friends, and the principal found out that there are these strange men that the father is bringing home every day. I went with the principal, we went to her house and he wasn't there, and we tried to send for him, he wouldn't come. And so I spoke to her brother, the younger brother. I said, you're really responsible for your sister. And so I want you to make sure that you're here all the time. And if you're in trouble, then you call us.
Even though Lakshmi had faced some of the most challenging circumstances of all the girls at Prerna, she was one of the students who was the most open and honest with us about her feelings, about her life, and what going to Prerna means to her.
एक तो हमने बहुत फिजिकली किया जैसे कि एक तो हमें लाइफ को दिखाया क्या चीज़ है
I learned a lot about life. That's very important.
अगर मैं अकेले होती तो शायद संभाल ही पाती.
So she says first economically they have supported. Then she says that it may strengthen me, and it gave my family the feeling that other than her, that she's not their only support.
Right.
That there is a bigger support.
Okay.
That they have.
शायद मैं अकेले तो कुछ कर नहीं पाती.
That she says, I don't think I could have done all of this alone. And so I feel I'm so supported, and my family feels that that I'm not the only person in their lives, that there is a bigger family.
And that other people are going to know if they mistreat her. You're a guardian. You're guardians.
Correct. Tell me about it.
That's what you are. You're guardians. That's what kids in Canada want when they say, I want my school to understand.
मगर हमारा स्कूल समझता है सारी प्रॉब्लम.
There is only one school who understands.
Yes.
So she says, but our school understands all our problems.
Yeah.
And so she says, the only school that understands.
Yeah. Well, some of them went to other schools, right?
And they have the drugs.
They didn't have the drama, they didn't have the critical dialogues, and they didn't have the intervention. So it was just school.
Correct.
Lakshmi's family isn't the only one that recognizes the role Prerna has played in the girls' lives. Dr. Sani explained to us that one student at Prerna completed a class assignment where she had to interview members of her family, and through that process realized how her life could now be different from her grandmother's and her mother's.
She was married at 9, she told me, and she said that she was had no choice. And she was such a child that when my grandfather would come, she would actually run after him and chase him, and she just had no clue what was happening. Right. So then when my mother got married, she was 17, so it was a little shade better, but still. And she said, so my grandmother told me that, your life is very different if you didn't have all the support, and that you were able to say no, and otherwise you'd be where we were too. And so she says, I learned from the interviews that how things have changed.
As drama researchers, my team was particularly interested in what the girls thought of the dialogues and the drama inspired from them, because we could see the impact both of these kinds of pedagogies were having on their lives.
Because it is always related to our lives. So we can share easily and give our views on that.
Okay. Khushbu, what do you think?
And we learn more thing about कभी जैसे कि प्रीति ने किसी के बारे में बताया मैरिज से रिलेटेड कि उसके साथ ऐसा हुआ उसके बारे में.
We learn a lot from other people's experiences, and we learn more about our rights as we discuss all of them.
And we also get different ideas in that. How we solve one problem in a different aspect.
So they get different perspectives.
Right.
और क्रिटिकल डायलॉग की वजह से हम लोग जो हमारे मन में होता है वो हम बता देते हैं, दूसरा बताता है, फिर एक हम लोग में.
She said, when we all tell our stories, then we are kind of bound together, and our confidence grows, and we feel that, and more and more, and she said, more people join us because if they feel that if they join us, their strength will grow.
Right.
Lakshmi, the last speaker heard, was so motivated to share her story after participating in the critical dialogues at Prerna that she created a 1-minute digital story about her life. Here is an excerpt from her piece.
Hi, I'm Lakshmi Shad from India. I live in a small house with my family. I have 3 sisters and a brother. I'm the eldest of them all. When I was 13 years, my mother died. My youngest sister was only 11 months. Now I must take care of my whole family. Lalita and me work as domestic help in several houses. All this time our school Prerna has been our haven. All my friends at Prerna are like my sisters. We laugh together and cry together. My journey in search of home ends here.
In the full piece, she also courageously discusses the challenges she has had with an alcoholic father, normally a taboo subject. As a result, this piece was incredibly powerful for her classmates and within her community.
When Lakshmi's movie was shown, and we showed it to our middle class kids because we wanted them to get a sense of what children go through, and we were trying to educate them. So some of them just took it upon themselves to go to her house. They were so moved that they went to her house to protest and to, they were kids. And she got really mad, so she came back because the neighbors started to yell at her, that, look at how you're bad-mouthing your dad and you're doing this publicly, da 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 da. Anyway, and so she said, I don't want that movie shown anywhere, please be careful, etc. Interestingly, her group said to her, she said, hey, wait a minute, those people came and yelled at you for bad-mouthing your father. What do they do when he beats you up? Do they yell at him? You let them be. This is good to show. Everyone should know what he's like. And then I spoke to them together about how oppressions in private spaces happen because they're kept private. When it becomes public, when you open that out, sometimes it's harder. And you are protected by making it public rather than keeping it private.
Given the position of young women in Indian society, it's important that students were inspired to speak out as a result of Lakshmi's digital story.
मैंने आंटी जहाँ तक कि हमारी फैमिली में ज़्यादातर ये होता है कि लड़कियाँ कुछ कर नहीं सकती.
Okay, so she said that in our family, girls don't really speak a lot. They're not supposed to. And it's not considered that girls can do anything at all. She said, when I came here, I said, hey, it's possible. So she saw the possibility. And so she said, many people have helped me. My teachers, you, me, her friends. And she said, it's because of that that I am who I am today. Otherwise, I don't think I could have done anything at all. And if I just lived in my family, then really there wasn't any chance for me.
Miss Kay explained that it wasn't always easy for the girls to express themselves or think and act powerfully in the face of oppression, because they had been deeply affected by the things they'd experienced in life. For some students, like Khushbu, though, the transformation they experienced through this work and in that community was tremendous.
For sure, initially, I remember these girls would cry that my mother said this, my father said this, I do not have this. But gradually, I think it took some time for them. They stopped crying and they would show their aggression that why it's happening to me. So that feeling of catharsis was there in them, that they were able to speak to us. And when we spoke to each other, or we took that, auntie, this is the problem, this child is facing this problem. So we all together were able to give some sort of solution to that problem. And it really ended in a good solution. Like for Khushbu's problem, her father did not allow her to go to America, to Plymouth. So she was very disheartened. And she had the passport in her hand. But we tried. Her father was cold. He was very annoyed. He said, no, I'm not going. But because she was not an adult, we couldn't take a decision on her part of sending her. At least she was made, she became very conscious, and she said, why live in a place where my rights are being curbed? So she gradually moved to her grandmother's place, who supported her, and she comes as a parent to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's the best part.
Wow. Wow.
So we found a support for her within the family, and she has a place to live.
Wow.
And she has found a platform from where she can at least stand up in life.
Not only have the students found collective resolve to stand up against injustices and oppression in their own lives, but many of them have created a group called Virangana, which works for social change in their communities and for the rights of other women.
It's a very cohesive group. They love to do something for each other. They would love to do what can I do for the other child who's in pain. It's like that. And we have started this Virangana group. I'll tell you, like there was a female in the village who had a tumor and the son was unemployed. He would not even do anything. As a result, she was not able to treat herself.
Is this a mother?
Not a mother of any Prerna girls.
Right.
You know, these girls, Sunita, Lakshmi, they all went, without telling us, they, collected money among themselves. And they took that female to the hospital, got her prescriptions and told her that, Auntie, you have to take these medicines for some time and then we'll come and meet you again. They find that somebody is doing something for them.
Yeah.
They feel that they have become socially responsible. They want to give it back to others.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that was something, it really touched our heart that we never told them that you go and help them economically, collect funds and go and get that lady treated, but they did it on their own.
Yeah.
When Auntie someone had problem at my class, we always ask her that what problem you have and why you are so quiet and why you are crying. So if she don't need to tell, so sometimes we force her. So she tells us. So we try to solve that problem and ask her how can we help you. So if she is ready to take help, so we help her.
Well, the odds are stacked against them, and social change can move slowly. Miss K believes that the students at Prerna will truly go far in life and positively contribute to the lives of many other women.
And I really found that they have great potential. They have the zeal to do something in life, the desire to come out well in life, but they never had the opportunity, neither the resources nor the awareness what to do.
Yeah.
So I think the girls need to be trained.
Yeah.
Become selfish, look for yourself first.
Yeah.
And that training, I think it's important for all class.
Yeah. That's right. Definitely.
It's not that it's only needed for Prerna.
No.
Even my daughter needs to be trained.
In the following interview segment, you hear my struggle to make sense of the different kinds of worlds we imagine the students having to navigate.
I'm just amazed as you describe their lives about the contradiction they must feel between what they learn here, how they're treated here, and what they learn, and what the rest of their life is, not just in the home, but as child laborers. And knowing that there is something so fundamentally wrong with that. And it flies in the face of everything that they learn here. And how, I can only imagine how much you would lose your equilibrium, because it's like you're operating in two different universes. And yet, at least for what we see, there is an integration of those realities that just comes through in their thirst and their desire to be in community with each other, to be learning, to be in this safe place. And it's mind-boggling to me that you aren't dealing with more problems where they're trying to reconcile two worlds that don't make sense. This must just be such a safe haven for them that they can't risk upsetting what
You'll find
is.
so many students who are here early in the morning around 8 o'clock. All those who are working in the canteen or in the store or at the reception, and they love. They say, once we are here, we feel very safe. We'll get a cup of tea if we want, we'll get the snacks if we are hungry, we can study if we want, because every unit concerned teachers, they know that they have the exam, so load off their burden of work, let them study. So even if a child who's working in the computer section, she is allowed freedom, you go and study. You have your exams. So that type of liberty they are being given so that, they can balance their academics with their work. And they enjoy the work also, they are learning their work and they are studying also. At home, it's just the reverse. They are discouraged from studying. If at times, I think Kiran once told me that I was studying, so the mother hit me, why are you studying, why are you not cooking food? So it's just the reverse. So, but they are very brave to balance both. So I think they are living two type of personalities at the same time. They switch on the moment they come to Prerna, and they switch off Prerna the moment they reach home. So that they do not,
So the worlds don't clash too much.
Dr. Sani explained to us the progress she has seen with the girls over the last few years. I am confident that with Prerna's continued work, current students and many more students to come will benefit immensely from the universe of care created at Prerna.
And what I see happen with these girls is that it has not changed their poverty, but it has changed their spirit. The spirit is a richer, stronger spirit. And so we are trying to look at the poverty issue. And so we define our role as doing a lot, everything that it takes to help them. But most importantly, trying to build their selves into strong selves that will learn to resist their circumstances. And so far, really, and I have seen them change over the last 4 or 5 years.
After spending time at the school and seeing for ourselves the social justice work they are collectively engaged in, I couldn't help but wonder what the impact would be were there more schools like Prerna.
I think Prerna is unique in its own self, and that's the only school in town right now we have. Like, I have interacted with many schools, many school children, but I find that we need more Prerna type schools in town. Because this is one place where Prerna is catering to the nearby students.
More so it can't reach everyone.
We can't reach out everyone. So these 600 who are coming to us, there are 6 lakhs who are being left out. So if we can have, Prerna in other parts of the city also, probably we might help many of these type of students. And these problems are universal in our society. Because we are living in a patriarchal society, problems are universal, we all know. So it must be existing in other parts also. And I think within 3-4 years, if we have made these girls so vocal, independent, empowered, and to think for themselves and think for others also. So it's not a very difficult task if we decide to do it. So we just need a little bit more effort to start a few more Prernas.
Perhaps the best way to summarize the lasting impression I have from meeting the girls and teachers of Prerna is a song the girls sang during a student Sadhna's 1-minute digital story. In the song, the girls say, "The journey will be covered if we all walk together, and the destination will be visible when we walk together. We are travelers of love, and to move ahead is our aim. Any difficulty will become easy in seconds. The valleys are echoing. There will be a change in the air. We don't care if we have happiness or sorrow. We will play with the storms and handle every pain that comes our way."
हम है राही प्यार के चलना अपना काम पल भर में हो जाएगी हर मुश्किल आसान पल भर में हो जाएगी हर मुश्किल आसान हौसला ना हारेंगे हम तो बाजी मारेंगे हौसला ना हारेंगे हम तो बाजी मारेंगे यूं कट जाएगा सफर साथ चलने से कि मंजिल आएगी नजर साथ चलने से क्या ये बादला बदलेगा मौसम कहती है ये वादियां बदलेगा मौसम